Last time, we stood in the marble lobby of the Plaza Hotel. We watched a 20-something Napoleon Hill make a decision in 29 seconds that changed history. It was glamorous, it was electric, the air smelled like money and power. But nobody talks about the morning after. Because after the handshake with Carnegie, Hill didn't walk into a bank vault. He walked into a shaky boarding house. He sat down at a desk with no money, no team, and a list of names he was terrified to call. The tide of money he saw at the plaza was gone. In its place, the mud, the fear, and the silence. Years into his journey, Hill found himself walking across a bridge over the Ohio River in the snow. His wife was sick. The money had dried up because of the war. He had actually pawned the very watch Carnegie used to time him just to buy groceries. He stopped in the middle of that bridge, looked at the dark water, and asked out loud, "Why me?" Maybe you're asking that today. You made a plan. You wrote your definite major purpose like we discussed. But the bank account hasn't moved. The views haven't come. The excitement is dead, and you are left with the work. Welcome to episode 2. Today, we aren't talking about starting. We are talking about staying. We are going to look at the 3 specific laws Hill discovered to survive the gap between your ambition and your reality. When Hill interviewed those 500 millionaires, he found a pattern that separates the dreamers from the achievers. He found that you don't get the results to build the belief. You build the belief to get the results. Identity precedes performance. Most of us wait for the world to validate us. We say, "I'll feel successful when I have the numbers." Hill saw that the Titans did the opposite. They spoke as if success was already part of them. Let's look at the hardware clerk Hill studied. This is a story rarely told. This man couldn't hit his sales quota. He was failing. Logic says he should have just tried to sell harder. Instead, he used the law of auto-suggestion. Before the store opened, he visualized the specific number he wanted. He didn't just wish for it, he tracked every conversation. He wrote a clear daily goal. He told his brain, "I am the top seller." And his brain began to filter his choices to match that claim. 90 days later, he was the top seller in the store. I want you to pause right now. Look at the goal you wrote down last episode. Are you whispering it like a wish? Or are you reading it like a contract? Here is the science Hill uncovered. Your subconscious does not debate with you. It accepts the tone of your repetition. If you say, "I hope this works," your subconscious hears doubt. If you say, "I am the kind of person who ships work on time," your brain hunts for proof to make you right. You have to curate your inputs. You have to feed your mind sentences that build you. I keep my promises to myself. I do small, hard things on schedule. So you have the identity. But even the strongest identity cracks in isolation. Hill wrote that environment shapes execution. No one built alone. Let me tell you the story of the bankrupt printer. This is one of my favorite discoveries from Hill's notebooks. Imagine being a printer, completely bankrupt, with competitors eating you alive. Instinct says, hide, hoard your secrets, fight alone. This printer did the unthinkable. He formed a mastermind alliance with a competitor. Yes, a competitor. They didn't gossip. They didn't complain about the economy. They shared paper costs. They swapped overflow jobs. They created an ecosystem where both could survive. Within a quarter, both returned to profit. Hill called this the mastermind. Accountability is friction in the right direction. Being watched by people you respect changes your behavior. If you are watching this and feeling stuck, it is likely because you are the only person holding yourself accountable. I want you to build a tiny mastermind this week. I'm not talking about a paid seminar. 1. Invite 2 people who want growth, not gossip. 2. Meet weekly for just 30 minutes. 3. Share 1 win, 1 roadblock, and 1 commitment for the next 7 days. Do not skip this. You cannot see the picture when you are inside the frame. You need others. Finally, we have to talk about the snowstorm moments. Hill pawned his watch. He faced 20 years of no. How do you keep going when the logic says quit? He discovered the law of going the extra mile. He saw this in Julius Rosenwald of Sears. Rosenwald built schools for children across the South, not for press, but because he believed value travels both ways. He saw it in Sarah Breedlove Walker, who didn't just sell hair products. She uplifted her community. When you feel stuck, the natural reaction is to pull back, to do the bare minimum. Hill says, do the opposite. Go the extra mile in a way that costs little but means a lot. Reply to a comment with a paragraph, not an emoji. Record a voice note for a collaborator. Do more than required. Why? Because persistence is self-faith in motion. When Hill stood on that bridge, feeling like a fool, he went home and sent handwritten thank you notes to old contacts. He didn't ask for money, he gave gratitude. And 10 replies arrived with new introductions. Movement restarts belief. If you are paralyzed by the size of your dream, do one small action you can finish in an hour. Ship something imperfect. We started this episode on a bridge in the snow, Hill asking, why me? The answer came later. He realized that the struggle wasn't a stop sign, it was the tuition. As Edison told him, each test removed what will not work. You don't need 20 years to answer the question of your life, but you do need to understand that the decision at the Plaza Hotel was just the ignition. The persistence on the bridge is the fuel. Ordinary becomes inevitable if you just don't break the chain. So, here is your homework for the next 7 days. 1. Read your definite purpose statement at sunrise like a contract. 2. Find one partner to share your wins and roadblocks with this week. 3. When you feel resistance, go the extra mile. Send that one extra email. Make that one extra call. You are not being timed by a steel magnate today, but you are being asked a similar question by your future self. Will you commit to a purpose and walk it out long enough to see it work? Open your eyes, pick up your pen, begin.